Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. Nate Weitzer, who is on a complete heater right now, y'all. I mean, the dude went 12-0 in these player props Monday night. Tuesday night, we both had a great night. Last night, he got all his stuff right as well, including 2 Joker props. Feeling pretty good about this last night, even though we've only got 3 games on the slate before this All-Star break hits. We do feel, like I said, pretty good about these. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page as well. Got a couple game videos up for you tonight. Also want you to head to thelines.com. Nate's putting up the props up there now as well. And we also have that odds finder tool for you guys, so you can make sure that you're getting the best odds available from those U.S. sportsbooks on all these player props and NBA bets this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into your first NBA player prop for tonight.
Yeah, thanks for jinxing me. Now, Kawhi better come through. Taking over on 24.5 points. It's 23.5 a lot of spots, but with terrible juice. FanDuel giving you 1 more point. And you are getting positive odds on the 5.5 rebounds. I think both probably hit here at the Suns. On the road, I mean, especially in competitive games, you can count on Kawhi. He's averaging 29 points per game his last 8 road. He's playing 38 minutes per game. And that's a lot more. I mean, that's almost 4 more minutes than he's playing at home in that same span. So you're seeing the points go up, even though the efficiency might be slightly lower. And he's also, he rested for 5 days before that last game and came out against the Warriors and was just lights out. 12 for 17 from the floor, 7 for 9 from 3, and for 33 points. Kind of playing that point Kawhi role now because the Clippers literally don't have a point guard. So he's initiating more offense and he can just get his shot, get to his spots whenever he wants. So he's not on 2 days rest here necessarily, but he had 5 days rest before that one. So I'm looking at his game log when he gets that rest, and it's really the minutes that are encouraging. I mean, 29 points in 38 minutes, 24 in 38 minutes versus Denver. They own the Clips. 36 in 38 minutes, 33 in 40 minutes, and then a rough game at Milwaukee where we did call the under. But Kawhi, 17, 11 rebounds and 5 assists. So I think he'll continue to get those peripheral stats if he's playing more of this point guard role. The Suns do limit assists, though. I'm not going to be bullish on that. I just think he'll score enough down the stretch because this is a pick'em game, and we do like the over. We do like it to be clutch time, and that means kind of Kawhi and CP, Book, whatever, having that back and forth in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we got mad at Kawhi like a week ago for picking him in a game that he just like didn't come out. I don't like having to like figure out if Kawhi is going to bring it or not, to be honest. But I mean, this is a big game tonight against the Suns. Obviously division game as well. And I think it's important that the Clips continue their run. And I think it's important the Suns continue their surge as well. They both need seeding and et cetera. So, I mean, there's reason to believe the Stars will be out tonight in this one. So I'm picking the other star on the other side. Tell me if you've heard this before from 2 nights ago when we took CP3 to get a ton of assists. He got 19 of them. Maybe he could shell out a few of those and use them tonight because we're going back to the well on this one. It's more assists. I know Ty Lue and this defense is big. Ty Lue is a very, very good defensive coach, a very good scheme artist as well, knows Chris Paul very well, played against Chris Paul actually for a bit. But CP3 with a double-double is plus 110. So on DraftKings, I got to continue to feel good about that. The 9.5 assists is minus 120, the best place to find it, which is why you might as well take the double-double if you're going to take the assists like we are tonight. And the 24.5 points and assists, which is where it was last game as well, feels good because of the fact that, I mean, but he put up 17 in the last one. I think he's been averaging about 15 in his last 5 games or so. So, I mean, he likes playing against the Clips too. You know what I mean? Like he used to play for them. His last 4 versus them, he's got 13 points and 12 assists in 34.5 minutes. If you kind of look closely at how he used to play against them, when he got to the Suns, especially the first 6 games against them, he was dropping 25 a game and 10 assists per game. That was a couple seasons ago when he was still scoring a lot more from that mid-range. And now, in his last 4 overall, he's dropped down to 15 points a game, but 12 assists in those same 33 minutes. Phoenix playing at the pace. We talked about all that stuff in the game video, why we like this game to go over a bit more. Like Phoenix in their last 5 playing up to about 100 pace, still diming up like they would, third in the third highest assist percentage. So Clippers have been allowing the eighth most assists per game over their last 5 as well. So I mean, there's opportunity. I don't think the Clips are playing the same level of defense, especially now that especially with Norman Powell out tonight as well. I think you can expect them to get the points to be a bit more available.
Here's the thing, though. Those assists have been really spread out. I mean, I look at like the heliocentric guys. Like, I mean, Luka didn't play against the Clips, I think, but yeah, there hasn't been any guy who like got double-digit assists on his own against the Clips in recent meetings. So I am a little concerned. I tailed you very much on that CP3 pick against the Kings, and boy, did he come through basically in the first half. All sorts of player performance doubles, double, 12 plus assists in the win. They all hit. Hanson payout. I'm just a little reluctant to put down as many units in this spot because, T. Lue and just all the length the Clippers have to throw at him and just get the ball out of his hands and be like, somebody else can initiate the offense.
Yeah.
Just we're not letting you do it. That being said, I mean, slightly plus odds for him to get 10 dimes and 10 points, I think is a very fine bet. I just wouldn't go minus 120 for the 10 dimes.
Agreed.
Okay, last two picks here from that Wolves Wizards game, and I like Rudy Gobert again, another guy who we hit with 2 nights ago. Just the rebounds, probably. I don't know how reliable his scoring is going to be, although 14.5 points isn't terrible. He's averaging 14.5 and 12.5 rebounds his last 5 against the Wiz. Also 2 blocks per game. And if you do want some plus odds, plus 135 for 2 blocks for Rudy. And the Wiz happen to be giving up the most blocks per game to centers in their last 15 games. I mean, how much variance is involved there? But that is where they're at. And they're also giving up nearly 15 rebounds to centers in their last 30. And the last time these teams met, I mean, we talk about it in the game video for like the entire time. It's just like an unsustainable hot shooting from the Wiz. It's not the same Wolves team at this point. Rudy only had 7 rebounds because the Wiz dropped 142 and didn't miss. But in general, I mean, he gets 11.5 rebounds per game, whether it's home, whether it's away. At home, he's a plus 44 on the season versus minus 65. And playing 4 minutes fewer per game. So if you think this will be a close game, as the line indicates, then he should be playing more minutes. I mean, now it is very much him and Ant out there anchoring this team on both ends. No Cat at this time as they go back up against the Wiz. So I think he'll be out there to get 12 plus boards, which, you can get better odds if you want to juke it up one more there. And maybe, probably another double-double now that his buddy Mike Conley's out there feeding him in the spots where he can actually dunk it.
Yeah, that's fair. His buddy Mike Conley. It's true. It's the only guy who's ever passed to him in the NBA. But yeah, I actually looked for him. So yeah, maybe he'll get out there and play well with Rudy. But the 10.5 boards, I think is pretty fair. The Wiz not great at rebounding. I mean, they've been playing a lot more Gafford and Porzingis at the same time, which doesn't help. But like, it's fine. It's Rudy Gobert. It's 10.5 boards, and what should be a little bit of a faster paced game, even if the Wiz don't play super fast. I think that there's still going to be some efficient offense, and the offensive rebounds for Rudy could be there as well. So 10.5 is too few. I'm not as comfortable with this one. I'm taking it over in Kuzma. I like it because I'm banking on our game theory working out, that there being a lot of points in this game. Well, I'm sorry, that's my game theory. You're a little bit more worried about the over on that one. I think you prefer maybe an under, but I still think there's an opportunity for Kuz to get the points and the threes. I do think the rebounds and assists have been something that he's been upping a lot. So the 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists is still a viable bet. But the 2.5 threes is the best odds there at the plus 112, and we know he's going to be raining threes. I mentioned in that game video that he doesn't lose his usage rate or stop chucking up shots just because Bradley Beal's out there, and he will be tonight. But Minnesota, I know we talk about their skewed defense, the numbers being a little bit skewed on that defense because they played some really good teams in their last 5, and they haven't been at home for very many of those. I still think they're liable to give up some points, not. Maybe, not from the 3-point line where they're actually limiting 3-pointers a bit, but that's because they're giving up such a high field goal percentage as well in general, are the Timberwolves. That giving up the 5th most free throw attempts. We know they don't get defensive rebounds, not that Kuz is necessarily going to be crashing the offensive boards that much, but the 22.5 points for Kuz as well one above his average with Brad Beal in there. So it's right on the margin. It's not my favorite bet of the night, but to be honest, like I got to go back to Terrence Mann, and I just went with Terrence Mann and Chris Paul as my two favorite plays a couple of nights ago, and it hit. Terrence Mann I like even more than Chris Paul tonight. Like I don't know why I wouldn't just say it, so I'm gonna make sure I say it. I'm gonna tweet it out later. He's still at 9.5 points, dude. What do you want from me? He averages 11.5 points a game or now 12.5 when he's playing without Reggie Jackson, as I said a couple of nights ago. Norman Powell is also out. When Norman Powell and Reggie Jackson are out, 13.5 points a game, and he's at 9.5. So I got to feel better about him getting that. He's only at 3.5 boards on FanDuel. It's only minus 122 for him to get the 3.5 boards. But I mean, he's one of the best rebounding guards in the league, also averaging 5 boards a game when Reggie Jackson's not in, because he's getting 32 minutes a game, which is what he's going to get again. He only needed 27 the other night. Eric Gordon might come in, eat a little bit of that up, but like I said, Norman Powell not out there. Sixth man of the year candidate. Norman Powell, who won't be taking up those minutes from Terrence Mann. So everything I just said, Terrence Mann is still my favorite bet tonight.
Yeah, producer Dan just bookmarked the 12-minute spot when we actually get to the good player props pick at the end here. Terrence Mann, 100% on board with that. I'm very skeptical about the Kuzma pick. I did like the threes or points more than the total package. Also just searched Eric Gordon under those same lines with Powell out. 11.5 points, even money, plus money on 2 threes for Eric Gordon. I'm going to be hitting that as soon as we're done here, because I think he's going to be gunning off the bench. He is invigorated to be on a contender here. 1.5 rebounds, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Points and threes, Gord off the bench. Book it. Also love the T-Man pick.
Love it. Don't take the 1.5 rebounds. That's like a point. That's like a 1.5 yards over under for Tom Brady. Like, is he gonna fall forwards or backwards when he gets sacked? Like, I don't want to bet on that. But either way, some pretty good props tonight. Hope you stayed till the end so you can get our favorite pick of the night, Terrence Mann. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We are going to be bringing you some all-star stuff as well, and those futures when we get back, and give you sort of an update on where we're at with all the awards and things of that nature. So until we see you next, happy betting.